Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because that would be greatly appreciated. However, without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is me at 7 years old, training every single day. And this is me today, 22 years old, but also training every single day. Am I any faster now than I was then? It's a great question, but first let me go over a few things. Back in 2007, I was looking for pure speed. I wanted to be as fast as humanly possible over that 800 metre to mile range, and that consisted of doing a lot of short, hard workouts on the track. For example, a key session I always used to do would be a 600 metre effort, into a 400 metre effort, into a 200 metre effort, repeated 5 times. Now, my goal and focus was so far away from what I was doing back then. I'm looking for endurance now. I'm looking to be able to run long distances at fast speeds, not 800 metres or a mile. So that begs the question, can I keep up with my 7-year-old self? I mean, I would hope so, but let's go and find out. So, how fast was I actually running back then? It's a great question, but luckily due to the internet, we can find out exactly. There's a database called the Power of 10 which holds all previous records and times that I have achieved on it. So let's go and take a look at that and see what comes up. My 800 metre PB back then was a time of 2 minutes 27 seconds, or 5 minutes and 4 seconds per mile, which ranked me 115th in Great Britain at the time. And we've still got all the bling to show for it. Now currently, when I do my intervals on the track, I hold a pace of 3 minutes 10 seconds per kilometre, or 5 minutes 7 seconds per mile. So this is actually slightly slower than the pace I was running back then. However, I do these multiple times, and it's not just a one-off effort. However, since I've not actually got any record at this current time of being able to run that fast, I think the only way to actually test this is to give it a go and try and beat that speed. So I'm changed and ready to go. Don't hate on the tri-suit. It's what I always wear. It's comfy, it does the job, so it's great from my point of view. Although it doesn't look visually appealing, I do get that. What I'm going to do now is go and pop the treadmill on 19.1 kilometers per hour, which equates to 5 minutes 4 seconds per mile, and see if we can run 1 mile at this pace, which should be absolutely fine, I think. But let's go and give it a go and see. Once the treadmill got up to speed, I got going. And it was surprisingly quick, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting it to be slightly slower. I don't know why, considering I run this treadmill the whole time. But it was bitey to say the least. Okay guys, so I'm now clean, I'm showered, I'm ready to rumble. It took longer than I expected because I had to do a thorough warm-up, because whenever I'm doing some speed stuff on the treadmill, I have to do like 30-40 minutes warming up just to make sure I don't get injured. Back then in 2007, I don't think I even knew what a warm-up was. How times have changed. Anyway, that run was harder than I expected, quite a bit harder. You know, in my head, I know what 19.1 kilometers an hour feels like. I run on that thing on a daily basis. However, I was thinking from the point of view that I could do this easily when I was 7 years old, so surely I'd easily be able to do that now. And yes, that was the case. I could run at that pace for 1 mile. However, it was harder than I thought, and my heart rate rose up to 186 beats per minute, which is relatively high in the scheme of things, although not my max. Now, there are a few caveats I would just like to touch on here. The first one being my training now is very different from when it was back then. I am now endurance-based. I'm training to run well over a marathon, not 1 mile. So they're two completely opposite sides of the scale. And just because I was fast over 1 mile back then, definitely does not mean I was fast over 10k, 15k, etc. at that age. In fact, if someone had asked me to run 5k at that age, I would have been able to do it, but it would have been very slow and not fast at all. And, you know, if you look at a male nowadays who's older, you know, above 20 years old, say, who can run that pace for 1 mile, the chances are they could run a 15, 16 minute 5k. But back then, when I was that age, I didn't have the endurance or the stamina to do so. So although it does seem quite fast that I could run that, and yes, it is. I'm surprised myself how fast it was, but it very much does not mean that I could run longer distances at fast speeds as well. And I can tell you from my point of view now, I definitely couldn't have done that back then, because my training was tailored purely for the shorter stuff. And I was young at the time, my joints, my ligaments, my bones weren't grown fully, so I wasn't doing a lot of those longer distances. It was very short, very snappy. And I think that's the best way to go about it when you're younger, because you don't want to put that strain and stress on your joints and your bones as you're growing, because it's probably not particularly great for them. I mean, I had a lot of injuries growing up as it is, you know, the compartment syndrome, the Sever's disease, and, you know, I could go on and on, I'm not going to. But I think I managed to limit that by doing the short stuff. And I think the amount of training I did and the speed work I did shows, because it was pretty fast. But yeah, you know, I'm really glad I've done this video. It's been great, it's been entertaining. For myself, you know, if you've liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated because there are some juicy videos coming in the next few days, so you do not want to miss them. But yeah, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.